Hi, I'm Jackson. I'm from New Zealand. I've been living in China now for 10 years and loving it. I think, you can look at China in many different ways. You can look at the cultural experience. I mean, from my perspective, I think China's culture is fascinating, both historically and obviously currently. Chinese environment is so contradictory, It's got all these traditions that are getting broken apart by the changes of the economy. And just seeing that, either through a young person's eyes or someone who thinks they know the world is really, really interesting. The main issue that I've always had is a slightly patronizing one, in that I know they've come from an education system which has not taught them to think outside of the box. They've come from an education system which has told them that this is what you're supposed to learn and this is how you're supposed to act as a good Chinese. And a lot of those things that they learn, everything they learn is actually very good for them. But when they come into a dynamic business environment, they lack a certain amount of dynamic thought. But that's all part of the interest of coming here, is that you will get your own take on it and then be able to translate that idea to people who have never been here. And that is extremely beneficial. They might have invested a whole bunch of money and they're in a situation where they have no idea what to do with a problem because they don't know what options the Chinese business is giving them. But if you listen to their problem and go, well, I've seen something similar, it's those kind of things you can reflect back on and say to people. I'm always impressed by foreigners that I meet that speak Chinese, and I think anybody should be, because it's a very impressive achievement. The future of Chinese, I think, is only going to grow, and that's partly because Chinese in general are nervous people when they're trying things that they're not confident about. And so if you think China's economy is perhaps going to overtake America's in a few years, and all these Chinese businessmen are going to go into the world, they're going to really appreciate anybody who can speak to them in their language. And that is just going to be so invaluable. I'm the kind of guy who kind of gets out there and does lots of outdoor sort of things. So you'd think China's not an outdoor kind of place, but I've been able to achieve a pretty good life of things like rugby. So if you like the outdoors, it's pretty unique. So I mean, for me personally, I spend at least 6 or 7 hours outside exercising or playing some sport every week. So there's running trails where you could go for 2 hours inside a city of 3 million people and not really crossed by many other people. I mean, I think what a lot of foreigners appreciate about here is it gives something back to you, and that's proven not by the fact that it's a numbers thing. It's the fact that I know so many foreigners have stayed here a really long time and got so much from it.